it enables both of them to grasp tree branches and climb.
Looking at modern-day chimpanzees and looking at the foot of a chimpanzee and looking at especially the ankle bones, they are so much the same as in the fossil.
At this stage of the investigation, Ida is showing some basic human-like characteristics in her skeleton. But her body proportions and the length of her fingers are nonetheless lemur-like. The picture is still unclear.
It is, broadly speaking, a lemur monkey. How lemur it is and how monkey it is what we're trying to figure out. And so it looks to me like it ties higher primates, apes and monkeys, into something in the Eocene that's clearly more primitive.
The team are looking for any clear evidence in Ida's anatomy that links her to us. This is not an easy task. Establishing these links has always been a problem since the theory of evolution was first proposed. A 150 years ago, Charles Darwin explained the incredible diversity of life on Earth in a new way. There are billions of species on the planet, but each was not individually and uniquely created. New species appeared as they adapted to a changing environment. At the time, Darwin's proposal was controversial. He argued that monkeys, apes, and ourselves have a common ancestor. That ancestor, we now know, must have lived hundreds of millions of years ago. Darwin's idea was revolutionary, and he was ridiculed by many in Victorian society. Where is the proof, his critics demanded? Where is the half-ape, half-man fossil that links us to ape-like ancestors? And where is the even more ancient fossil that links apes and ourselves to the rest of the animal kingdom? Darwin predicted that such creatures must have existed, but he never could produce the fossil evidence. It was missing. Don Johansen is famous as the man who found what the world had been waiting for, one of those missing links. In the Ethiopian desert in 1974, as a young man, he uncovered the fossilized bones of an astonishing creature. He nicknamed it Lucy.
Incredible. Just remarkable. Well, what we're looking at here is about 40% of a single skeleton, of course, the Lucy skeleton, which I found in 1974. And what's astonishing about it is we have parts of the upper limbs, the arms, we have parts of the lower limbs, both the thigh and the shin bone, parts of the vertebral column, the backbone, and even the ribs. And when we mount her like this, when we make a display like this, one gets the impression of the body.
Lucy looked like an ape, but she was beginning to show human characteristics in her skeleton. She turned out to be an extraordinary link in our own evolution.
Finding Lucy, of course, it's a fantastic fossil that shows the upright position, the standing position, the walking of the first human-like ancestors. So she's a hallmark because of she walks like us.
One of the things that Lucy gives us is a real picture of what her pelvis looked like. The pelvis is obviously one of the most crucial anatomical regions in the body for the way animals get around. For example, if we look at an animal that walks on all fours, a quadruped, and in this case it's a chimpanzee, you can see that the hip bones, so one we feel just here, as you can see, are facing forwards. Whereas in humans, like ourselves, they have been rotated around so that the muscles on the back are now on the side. They're no longer facing backwards. And they stabilize the hip, so that when we walk as a striding gait. If you watch a chimpanzee walk bipedally, it walks like this, because it's always collapsing.
So, animals that walk on all fours, like chimpanzees and Ida, have a very different hip bone to animals that walk on two, like us. But it was the shape of Lucy's bones that revealed an amazing fact about our own evolution.
If you look at Lucy's pelvis, right here, we've reconstructed this side for the mirror image, it's not identical to a modern human. But clearly, it's shorter, broader, and these blades, the hip bones, have been rotated around. So this is a clear adaptation to upright walking on the ground.
Lucy had ape characteristics. She was hairy, like a chimpanzee. But she also had human characteristics. She walked on two legs, just as we do. Lucy was the half-ape, half-man species that Darwin predicted. But where was the link millions of years earlier between us and the rest of the animal kingdom? At this stage of the investigation, Ida's skeleton is showing a mixture of characteristics from the non-human and human line. This unusual combination is bringing Jörn and the team closer to deciding whether she is related to us.
This jumble of different characters is very, very exciting, because you see things that are more anthropoid-like. You see things that are certainly extremely primitive. You see things that maybe should be more like a lemur. And you see all these characters in the same skeleton. And you need to try to explain evolution in a new way, the early evolution of primates in a new way, because it's there. You cannot take them away. This is really one specimen that's frozen in time, and all these characters are there.
Jörn and the team are getting closer to proving that Ida is the ancestor of all monkeys, apes and humans. But they need to find final proof of that in her skeleton. Lucy's pelvis gave Johansen the proof of an ape man. Finding an equivalent bone to link Ida to us is much more difficult. 3.2 million years of evolution separate us from Lucy, but 47 million separate us from Ida. That's an immense length of time. Jörn